Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak to you guys about the comparison trap. I see a lot of great, bright, intelligent people getting sidetracked because they're looking at other people and their successes instead of focusing on their own successes. Now this is a huge problem if you are in the personal growth industry, or let's say you're just bettering yourself and you put the focus on other people. If you're a biker and you're focusing on the handrail next to you, you're going to crash into the handrail. But if you're focusing on pedaling, guess what? You're building momentum. You're gaining a reference experience and you're keeping on going there. One of the ways which I had to rewire myself was that to get out of this all or nothing type of thinking, it's this or this, it has to be this way or this way, and instead see it as a place where I could really start to dive into all of these different infinite possibilities. Let's say you're a skier, you start to look at all the skiers around you doing these cool tricks and you start to mess up yourself because you're not focused on the present moment, you're focused on the events around you. You're focused on observing others instead of observing the own internal processes you have to go through in order to better yourself to the best of your ability. So the mindset shift here really is to observe the fact that you are a part of nature. I always make sure that I'm learning the most from nature, okay? One of the lessons of nature is to understand that a flower blooms just because it blooms. A songbird sings just because it sings. It doesn't do it for any outcome, right? It's just there to show up and do the damn thing, right? And us as human beings, we start to doubt ourselves. A lion doesn't wake up in the morning and go, I wonder if I'm going to be a lion today. It doesn't do that, right? It just shows up, go, rah, like it's just there, right? And the thing is, we worry about so much about doing our own thing and finding our own craft and doing our own passion that we start to get scattered instead of really focused in. So one advice to you would be to stop comparing yourself to others. I mean, this will solve really a lot of different issues because you are a certain kind of animal and they are another kind of animal, right? And so they might be a hyena, but you're a jaguar. And if you are able to really distance yourself from the hyena mentality and go more with the jaguar mentality, then you're really able to understand that in a lot more critical moments. And if you can speak to yourself like you would a best friend and understand that your inner coach, in a way, is there to help you maximize, optimize, tweak, hone, refine, and adjust. And it's not there to make fun of you or make you feel bad or be a bully or mock you or be defeatist. Those things are happening to try to get you to shake yourself out of an old pattern. And sometimes we're going to have to be a little bit of a drill sergeant or a little bit mean with ourselves in order for ourselves to change something around or to fully transform into the new identity that we truly prefer. So instead of beating ourselves up, why not beat our own egos up and really understand that, our identity doesn't really mean that it has to be this one thing over and over again for an extended period of time. Our identity is this fluid concept that keeps expanding and keeps changing. And so the more you start to actually give yourself the interest, the capability, the willingness, the understanding that you deserve, you then start to create almost like a broadcasting system from your own internal core. And really being able to take all the stuff, all the emotional gunk that life gives you in this emotional junkyard and create almost like a recycling mechanism, an internal ecosystem that no matter the external ecosystem, it can still learn to thrive through the breath, through the presence, through the mindset shift, through the mentality, through the accumulation of different frames that eat up the weaker frames in your own mind, and understand that you can come from a space where you're fully aligned, fully committed, and fully connected. And if you can actively switch around this comparison trap and understand, look, just because that person is better than me at that one thing, and I'm zooming in on that. Maybe you're a very competitive person, right? You have that mindset of like, I want to crush them. I want to be the leader, right? I want to be the one at the top all the time. Instead of that, when you can actually crush your ego in those moments and be like, man, I can actually learn something from them and be inspired by them, rather than me feeling like envious of them or jealous of them, or like, all these different factors about them, right? Instead, if you can be like, yeah, they're doing this one thing really well, but they might have other areas in their life which they suck at, right? And I might be better at those things that they suck at. So how can we make a trade-off here, right? How can I work with this other person who might be better than me and learn from their skill set, at the same time helping them out in the places where they're lacking? But we can't force that or impose that reality onto them. Of course, they're going to be willing or want to have to change that area in their life. But it's like, you notice it. You notice this area where maybe they're faltering. And then you work towards that. And you reach a consensus of this kind of back and forth, this banter with them, that you actually, engage with that and understand that you have certain things that you're naturally very good at. You might not like those things, but those are the things to capitalize upon, because, hey, those are the things which come natural to you and effortless to you, that you can always tweak those areas to make yourself more challenged. But it's difficult to gain a skill set in something which you're starting out just newly, right, and going into something completely new. There's always going to be this period where you suck at it. Where a lot of people, they get really, really good in business like 30 years down the line. And you're already like, you're doing it maybe like for 2 years now, and you're like frustrated, right? So my reminder to you is like, not just this patience mentality, but also like understanding that the impatience is actually telling you inside your mind to change the approach, like change the way you see the thing itself, in order for you to change the understanding of it, so you can see this bigger picture, so you can understand what an effect that it's having. Okay? So instead of waking up in the mornings and being like, oh man, it's another day, I'm doing the same old thing, it doesn't have to be like that. Right? You always have a choice, but if you keep stepping into the old patterns and getting into the kind of like a zombie mode, right? It's like, all right, I'm giving up, like just do whatever, like just let life go and do what comes to me, right? Let life just do its thing, and I'm just gonna sit back and do my thing, and that's it. Like, it can work like that, but you gotta work on your subconscious mind. That's my biggest advice to you. Your subconscious mind holds the keys to the kingdom, where you can actually expand this thing and create this kind of character, this personality, this archetype for you that actually matches your core frequency and your signature essence. So if you can match that frequency that you really want to be, you feel like you are already, and you're thinking from your goals, and you understand that you can like adopt and download all those things that you want from your future self, from your greater self, from your higher self, and really start emulating and living from that frequency again, it's going to change and shift everything. So how are you waking up in the morning, and how are you going to sleep? Right? Are you watching like terrible news and filling your head with all these lies and illusions? Or are you actually working towards being grateful and being more capable in life, and understanding that you have all of these things there already there to support you, and how you can really start to expand in different areas to be able to, consider this alternative equation? So that's the hypnagogic and hypnopompic state. When you're going to sleep, when you're waking up, going to sleep, waking up. If you listen to subliminal messages, if you do self-hypnosis, if you allow yourself to do hypnosis with a practitioner, if you allow yourself to get into the trance state yourself through theta waves or whatever you want to do to be able to reprogram that. Like, are you doing these things actively to change around the vibe and the frequency, also knowing that you are fine as you are, and it doesn't matter if you change or not, right? Attachment comes from a frequency of fear. So if we're like, hey, this person is doing better than me, we feel that FOMO, and immediately it switches us off. It gets us into analysis paralysis mode again, and we start to micromanage ourselves and be like, man, I'm not perfect enough. I didn't do it in that very particular way. This person hates me. I don't understand why, right? All of these things, the self-talk starts to accumulate again. But what I want to remind you is that self-talk is a protective mechanism. It's there to serve you. It's there to add service to your life and add value to your life and be effective to your thinking patterns. So instead of beating yourself up in your own mind and saying this person is doing it better, or they might, why are these people all succeeding and I'm not seeing the results. You have to get to the root cause, my friends. You're going to have to get to the root cause, the origin point where it all started. Where did this negative feeling of you not feeling good enough and you not achieving enough, where did that come from? Where did that emotional baggage trickle in from? What area, what trauma, what area of your life made you feel like that? Once you can get to that root cause formula, then you can start to switch your natural state around and be much more in that flow. Do you get what I'm saying? So I hope this video helped you out today. I know I threw a lot of facts at you very randomly, but I hope you can integrate this video, consolidate and learn from it and reflect on it so that you can take massive action, massive aligned action with detachment to it too. Right? Not attached to the outcome, but like this distance where you can look at it as the observer, as the witness, and still crush it. Knowing that, hey, I do have this success, this trait, this outcome, but that does not decide who I am for me, right? This is just a mechanism, an expression of me. I'm just a vessel here along for this ride. I'm renting this home, this body, and the universe, God or source is here to help me and guide me to who I truly want to be and I deserve to be. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time.